keep saying, absolutely perfect for running.
Look at that, framing that shot up of the Sydney Harbour Bridge and the Sydney Opera House together is, gee, that is postcard shot, that stuff.
Well, obviously a lot of support coming from the New South Wales government, and that comes through their Destination New South Wales Tourism and Major Events Agency. So congratulations to Destination New South Wales. There's a Fremantle Dockers supporters there, so he'll be happy, obviously, having completed and having had his team win last night over the Sydney Swans. We've seen a few NRL jerseys, we've seen AFL Guernseys, and people often love to wear the club colours or something that is important to their life and part of the team they're involved with.
Well, one thing that, you know, running is, it encompasses all sports, doesn't it? I mean, you know, you could be in AFL, rugby, you can be in netball, you all run. So they all take part in something like this running festival, and it's a fantastic thing to get involved with.
That shows that emotional attraction. People will often be wearing a singlet that they're like Cantu right there, Deb from Cantu, whose charity she's running for, and a lot of different reasons, sometimes pictures of a person who's you've got an emotional contact to. And whilst you're going through some pain and suffering, if you're doing it for other causes, then that helps keep that all relative.
You can see the runners still coming across the 9-kilometre bridge run. It is the most popular. That's where we've got 16,000 competitors. The marathon had 4,000, the half marathon nearly 9,000, the family run just over 5,000. So the bridge run, the 9 kilometres, certainly the most popular. For some of these people, that will be extending. For others, it'll be very easy. 35,000 people have been involved today. The runners taking part in the marathon, in the half marathon, in the bridge run and in the family run. The bridge run, the most popular, with over 16,000 competitors making their way the 9 kilometres from Milson Point all the way across to the Conservatorium of Music. And for the marathon and half marathon finishers, it was at the beautiful Opera House. As we look at the downtown area of Sydney and also St Mary's Cathedral in there, and you'll notice the runners are still making their way around Art Gallery Road, the beautiful parks of Hyde Park. We've travelled through Centennial Park. We've really had a rolling postcard of the beautiful Sydney landscape as these runners of all shapes, sizes, ages, various abilities are making their way across. This is the finish to the bridge run and also to the family run as well. So thumbs up to those, arms being raised as we check on some of the results. The beautiful Sydney Harbour Bridge. This is the result for the men's marathon, and Monas, take us through it. Willie Koitale, the winner from Kenya in 2:13:49, and then we get to the French runner.
Yes, and a great result there for Koitale, the favourite, but he still had to produce, and whilst he thought it was a bit slow, a terrific result. And as I say, the Kenyan, Frenchman and the South African on the day.
And also congratulations to Alexander Matthews in 2:25.33. He is the Australian marathon champion. So well done to Alex Matthews. The women's marathon results, and you can see at the top there, the Ethiopians dominated this one.
Yes, got the quinella there, and some very, very fast times, 2:32 and 2:33. I think finishing, may have just been outside the top 10, 10th or 11th in the overall race. So that's how strong those women's results are.
An outstanding result. And in the men's half marathon, well, we thought Wetcher might actually get up to do the win, but in the end he was beaten by the Japanese runner.
Yes, and again another international winner. So we're certainly feeling that international flavour of the event here, and beating Gamechu and Vlad Chatrov.
So Vlad Chatrov rounding out the podium there in the women's half marathon. Congratulations to Laura James, and a couple of Aussies there getting up ahead of the Japanese runner in third.
There we go. We get our Australian on the winning spot on the day as it last in that half marathon for females.
We certainly do. The family fun run now. Top winners there. Josh Hall doing it in 11 minutes. Ed Goddard and then Bryce Collins also inside the 12-minute mark. And we've got the the Sunday Telegraph family fun run. This is the women's side with Georgia Evans, Bethany Helmy and also Sienna Steele in there as well, just over 12 minutes. The bridge run, that was the one that was started by Glenn McGrath, David Manwaring, 28 minutes. Barry Keem and also James Davey just inside the half an hour mark. And also on the women's side of things for the Blackmores bridge run, Belinda Martin, 32:17, Millie Clark and Anita Keem. So congratulations to all those people that have achieved so much as the runners continue to come in on the family run and also the bridge run as a part of the Blackmores Sydney Running Festival. It is picture postcard stuff. The Conservatorium of Music centre frame there, where runners are still continuing to come in from the bridge run and also from the family run too. So that's one finish line, and then we work our way around to the Sydney Opera House, where the other finish line is. And boys, it's
magnificent, isn't it, Side? And those both finish lines, whilst we do have two finish lines, they will both amass up on the grass area in between, so they'll both be able to socialise with each other. The two finish lines then merge into the recovery area up on the grass, so they'll be able to share some stories about all four events today.
All credit to the organisers too, to have two finish lines. Imagine that. You have to sort of prepare for the two, obviously, timing situations and all the athletes coming through, two recovery areas. Everything has to be doubled. So, in effect, it's been a big task for the organisers here.
Yes, Wayne Lard and Jenny Barker and the team at Pond 3. Fantastic work for them to be able to coordinate with a bit of work going on down here at the Opera House precinct. But they've great support from the government and the council here in Sydney as well to allow them to do that. So, terrific result.
Well, you can't really produce an event like this without everybody lending a hand, and they've done a fantastic job, really.
Yep. Whilst we indulge and get out there and enjoy it, we understand the volunteers and the work that goes on behind the scenes to allow us to indulge by and look at the great stream of athletes and runners, participants that are getting out here today and being able to enjoy this beautiful Sydney day.
There's a few athletes suffering there a little bit at the end, and I've got some mates that have done marathons, and you probably have as well, and after the race they say never, never again, and then after a few drinks and a night of resting they put their application in for the next year's race, don't they?
And that's that emotion that you travel. You might travel during the race. Sometimes you think never again when you're halfway through, but when in the cold hard light of day the next day you say what a fantastic thing it was to be able to achieve running a marathon, and that makes you saddle up again and put the shoes on and get out and do that hard work to achieve that goal again.
That's what they say, isn't it? Pain doesn't last, but memories do.
Yeah, it lasts forever. Yeah. That's right. Pain is temporary, memories are forever.
And that is the way to get through it, isn't it? And what did we hear a little earlier in the broadcast as well? We train hard and win easy. Yes. I don't mind taking that away from today as well. So the old saying of train like you're in second spot and run like you're in first. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's a pretty good analogy. And it's all about the work, and that's the thing we love to say. It's about work ethic. If you can say the marathon is representative of one thing, it's work ethic. Yeah. And if you've got a good work ethic, then the outcome will hopefully be good for you. Certainly, it won't be good if you don't, but hopefully it will be if you have got a good work ethic. So that's hopefully the outcome.
There's plenty of runners with energy making their way through the bridge run, the 9Ks, and well, there you go. We've got someone of every age and every style. The presentations now for our wheelchair athletes, and congratulations Kurt Fernley, there he is in green, saying congratulations to his other competitors in there as well. So medals all round, and well done Christy Dawes, who is the female competitor, taking the gold medal there too. But Kurt Fernley, Christy, the whole lot has been absolutely brilliant. So well done to them. Also in there we've got Richard Nicholson, he competed, Ian Road, and also Nathan Archie as well. And I don't know that you can wander along there. We've just stopped up a little bit there. Now, the other thing is Blackmore's terrific supporters here. A little less sitting, a little more running. Here's some food for thought if you're watching at home. What will you do a little less or a little more of? Well, put it down, get it on the internet. Tell us at littlelesslittlemore.com.au, and maybe you can inspire yourself to get up and run one of these events next year as part of the Blackmores Sydney Running Festival.
And it starts with an idea. Fantastic to have that planted and then do the work.
Here's our winners with Willie Koitele, took out the marathon win. In second place was our man from France, Al Hassan Ben Kanouche, and then in third place it was Lucky Mahali from South Africa. So they are collecting the flowers there and the plaudits and the congratulations from the crowd. So well done to all of them, with Willie Koitele, the man on the right there, a terrific winner.
But good to see Kanouche actually recovering, because he was in a bit of a bad way after the finish there, wasn't he? And we were a bit worried about him, but he's actually got back on his feet, so that's good news.
Yes. No need to get medical attention, so going well.
Which is good news. As you can see, the scenic vista that is Sydney. Steve Chapman, who is our Blackmores warrior, has been progressing through, and plenty of other weekend warriors as well, and waving and cheering. They can see the camera on the jib getting those marvellous shots, and as he said, the boys have worked very, very hard to be able to come through and bring us some of this vision as the runners continue to progress on the way through, and plenty of support from the kids and from Dad and from maybe the husband in there as well, as they run and finish here at the Blackmores Sydney Running Festival. It's a real feeling of jubilation, isn't it, for a lot of these runners, and a fun party atmosphere. You can see that by the waving to the cameras and the fact that so many are talking and yarning.
Well, obviously, we were obviously getting excited about the elite athletes there, but obviously they finished in just over 2 hours and what was it, 14, whatever. But you know, for the others, they're out there for sometimes 4 hours, 5 hours, you know, and that's a long time to be out on the marathon course. And they're taking their time and they're doing it as best they can. So this event goes on for a lot longer than just the elite athletes marathon, obviously.
And that's important to realise, that for them it's about getting their drinks at the drink stations and having a bit of company, because they may have done a lot of their running maybe early in the morning in the dark, no drinks and no company. So to be able to absorb that atmosphere today, that's why you have events like this, to allow them to get out publicly to display all that hard work they've done in the dark by themselves. So take all that in and you know, make sure you keep hydrated, because if you're out there for 4 or 5 hours, it's an endurance event, and you need to treat it like it's an endurance event by getting fluids and maybe some gels and some electrolytes on board along the way.
Yeah, I remember I was at just after one of the London marathons, and Steve Jones, I think, had won it, and we were in a post-race interview scenario, and one old lady at the back said, you know, which do you think is harder? Do you think it's harder running 2 hours 12 or 5 hours 15, which I did?
No doubt about which answer I'd be saying to that one. Gee, that's a long time on your legs.
Look at the jubilation of some of these runners as they come across and they hug each other. The feeling of achievement is absolutely enormous.
Yeah, after they go across that line, yeah, I mean, it's all over for another year anyway. But some of these athletes might actually, you know, be inspired to take part in some of the other major events that are going on around Australia. And I think that's a great thing, to be encouraged to keep continuing to do things after a major event like this.
And a positive experience will inspire you to keep training and pick another